The mystery box is a wonderfully evil beast when it comes to zombies. It holds all of the treasures one could want, but it doesn't necessarily always give out the goods, something that myself and many others have probably gotten all too used to over the years. With that being said, box challenges are a classic and one of my favourites to do. Another favourite of mine is to do certain challenges across a multitude of games in a single video. So today I took both of those ideas, blended them together, and then mixed it up just a little bit more. Today we will be doing a 2-box challenge on every single Black Ops 1 map, and seeing which map hates me the most. Oh yeah, I'll also be trying to get to as high a round as possible. Round 35 being the main goal. I know not the highest of rounds, but come on, when has the box ever been good to me? Starting off, we have Kino De Totem. Going into this specific run, I was a little confident. Not because I knew the box would provide me anything good, I was actually banking on the opposite, but mainly because it's Kino. All I had to do in this map was run around in a circle on the stage and I'd be fine. First few rounds I used my knife and pistol to grind out some points. Now I was going to land myself one of the starting room guns just to tide me over until I got to the box, and we all know what I am picking. Although it was honestly pointless purchase, as the first room out of the spawn, the box is there. All I'm hoping for now is just something good. Not even a wonder weapon level, just something like the Galil or the RPK, but I get monkey bombs, which don't count. I mean, obviously I took them, but we needed some guns. So the second spin is up, and I get the CZ75, so not great. But it had nothing on what would soon be my second weapon, the crossbow. So yeah, CZ75 and crossbow. What a combination, and what a time. Don't get me wrong, neither gun is inherently bad, but they aren't world beaters either. They're just okay secondaries. Alright, the crossbow when pack-a-punched acts as a type of monkey bomb, which is great, but it's also only ever used for high round runs, and it's usually reserved for like a get out of jail card type beat. And the CZ, well the CZ is the CZ, I suppose, it's just kind of mid. End of round 6, I make my way onto the stage. Power is on and I immediately beeline it for Jug. I'm not taking any risks with these two tin pots for guns. Round 7 became the first round where the CZ was no longer a one-shot to the head, which was fine, but not the most welcoming. What wasn't fine was me a few rounds later almost blowing myself up with the crossbow. I ran out of ammo with the CZ and switched to the crossbow, and for some reason I thought it would be a great idea to shoot the zombie directly in front of me with a weapon that has a timed detonation, basically turning the zombie into a running IED. Not my smartest move. With the CZ out of ammo, I opted now was the perfect time for pack-a-punch, and the fact that I had a nice chunk of cheddar in my pocket meant I could get both guns upgraded. Round 10, both guns upgraded, and I was feeling pretty good. The CZ was also back to being a one-shot, but that quickly faded as I headed into round 12. Although the crossbow during these early rounds was unrivaled, taking down almost a full wave with just a single shot. Things wouldn't continue to be so simple over the next few rounds. Round 14, I picked up my final perk, being Speed Cola, and round 14 itself was Docs. However, over the next few rounds, the one thing that I was worried about with the older games began to be granted, and that was the lack of ammo. Black Ops 1 doesn't have the luxuries of more recent games with the likes of gobblegums, AATs, or ammo boxes, pretty much just anything and everything that helps you preserve or replenish ammo. Yeah, none of that here, and my lack of ammo became a real problem during round 17. I have an insta-kill, and usually by now I wouldn't bother knifing enemies for the extra points, I just shoot them. But I only had about 30 bullets left in the CZ, so I didn't really want to waste them. But I should have, because as I was knifing the enemies, I get myself stuck, and before I can get a chance to throw a monkey or swap to the crossbow, I'm already on the ground. Luckily, upon reviving, the crossbow came in clutch and allowed me to easily get all of my perks back. But this then led to a whole new problem. I now had no ammo at all, and it was dogs. This wouldn't have been too big an issue had it been a normal round, as I still had monkeys and a couple of shots in the crossbow and some grenades. But yeah, dogs, however, that stuff hardly ever bothers them, so I was screwed. This was then the longest and most egregious round of dogs I have ever played. Having to slowly and carefully make my way through with the use of monkeys, grenades, the knife, and the remaining ammo in my crossbow, it just wasn't fun. And after about 5 minutes with one dog left, I just used a trap to kill him, as all I had left was a knife, and quite frankly, I couldn't be bothered dealing with that. The max ammo from that round of dogs only lasted me until halfway through round 20, at least with the CZ. I still had ammo in the crossbow, but I'd actually resorted in using the claymores just to try and save some ammo. And it was pretty effective too, as it was still able to take down mostly a full wave of zombies, and with this I made it into round 21, where I then take a second down. I run out of claymores, and as I'm training the way together, I overextend by quite a bit and get myself trapped and subsequently downed. Things didn't last much longer after that. I managed to use the remaining crossbow ammo to regain my perks, and it also got me into the next round, which would prove to be my last. Still completely out of ammo, I was relying on the claymores yet again. I was training them together, and as I was just about done, one zombie came out of left field and blocks me as I attempted a pretty risky move, and it got me downed. Once I revived, there was very little I could do, and I was dead only a matter of seconds later. But round 22 with 2 random guns isn't awful, but now I had 5 other attempts to do better. Speaking of 5, that's exactly where we're headed next, and straight up, I don't like this map. I've never liked this map, and I don't think I ever will like this map, and after what the box did to me, I'm fairly certain there is no coming back for this map. In fact, I hate this map so much. In the little over a year I've been making videos, I think this is the first time I've ever played it on the channel. I'm also not going to sugarcoat it. This run was awful. Like, so bad the recording was only 12 minutes awful. And, well, you know my policy, one and done. Proper one pump jump if you get what I'm putting down. By round 5, I'd opened enough doors to fill what felt like a small hotel, where I'd finally managed to find the box hiding down on the 3rd floor. After a couple of nice drops, which got me a good piece of cheddar, I went and hit the box, and on the one map where I just needed something half decent, I get the Spectre and the Dragonov. Like, could my luck be any worse? And the answer to that is yes. Because on round 6, the jerk-off himself, aka the Pentagon Thief, was here and he only went and stole my Spectre. I didn't even get a chance to use it, and it was already gone. I was in shambles at this point. Now I only had the Dragonov to get me through the rounds. Round 7, it actually did, although I did take it down in the process. Round 8, I got myself back down to the box, and it only went and gave me the crossbow. So I did what any sane person would do and tried to commit old toaster bath with it. But because the crossbow is just so weak, it can't even do that correctly, but a zombie comes along and finishes the job. Thankfully that was over and now I was off to Ascension. On paper, Ascension should be where we put up our best run. This is one of the easiest maps ever made after all, and all I needed was something that could actually kill zombies and we'd be fine. So round 4, we make it up to the power and box room, although I did almost die as I get trapped in the room with just an M14 and about 12 zombies, but I survived. First spin of the box and out pops the Spaz 12. Not the best gun I could have gotten, but also not the worst. But the second weapon I got definitely falls into that second column as I get the China Lake. So, tell me again why I wanted to do this? First plan of action was to immediately buy PhD to prevent any possible mistakes with the China Lake. But then round 6 happened, and you may ask, well, what happened on round 6? The monkeys happened, and they stole both of my perks. They spawn in and hit me with the old bait and switch. They first go for quick revive, I save it, and then they all attack PhD, which I lose, and then they go back to quick revive, which I also lose. So, yeah, not a great round for me. Things only get worse as on round 8 I end up taking it down. I was halfway through activating Pack-a-Punch and I headed up to the lander at speed, only to then run out of shotgun ammo, so I was left with just the China Lake. And it didn't do anything. Like, it didn't even try to take down any of the zombies, and instead, I'm the one doing the downing. I eventually get the lander done, and also the one at stamina up. But it's now round 10. I have 13 rounds in the shotgun and a useless grenade launcher. I'm already on my last quick revive, and this is all happening on what was supposed to be the easy map. And it gets worse as I take a down on round 10, losing my quick revive completely now, and overall just not being in a great place mentally, you know? The one saving grace was the fact that I now had Pack-a-Punch open and got the shotgun upgraded, which just didn't last. Right as I thought I'd finally gotten a grip on this run, I died. I'm training together the zombies, and because apparently Block Plus 1 zombies have extendo arms, one of them reaches around, gives me a slap on the back of the head as I'm right next to some other bozo that kills me on round 11. On Ascension. Safe to say, the mental was well and truly in the bin at this point. Call of the Dead was up next, and I just needed one run where I didn't want to play chicken with the train. And I so very much thought that this was going to be that run. I make it to the box on round 3, and first spin, it only goes and gives me the Scavenger. Like, the best thing that could have happened to me on this map. That was then all ruined seconds later, as it also gave me the Dragonov. Again. I used the Dragonov for one full round, but because I'm an adult and can make decisions for myself, I swapped it out for the FAL. I know this is supposed to be a 2-box challenge, but I don't care. Sue me. I at first thought picking up the FAL was going to be great. I was very quickly proven wrong, as on round 6 I take an early down, which is becoming all too familiar theme this video, huh? I honestly don't know how this zombie doesn't die, as he literally has the barrel of my gun in his mouth, but you know, oh well. After that down, I started making some progress. By the end of round 8, I had quick revive back, as well as Jug and PhD. Things were beginning to look pretty good for me. Things also got better for me, as on round 10 I also got the FAL Pack-a-Punched. However, things then fell apart even quicker. It's the beginning of round 12 and I'm taking out zombies one by one, but then I hip fire a zombie and it accidentally hits George, which of course pisses him off. Now, I didn't really want to jump in the pool of water near the lighthouse at the beginning of the round because that would surely be a death trap, so I opted to take him to spawn. But before I even got a chance to make it through the lighthouse, I get bombarded by zombies and take the down. Upon reviving, there is literally no escape for me, and I'm dead about 13 seconds later. You know, after that first run on Kino, you wouldn't have expected these to have gone so poorly, huh? Because I sure as hell didn't. Next up was ShangriLa. Now, at the beginning of this video, I would have told you that this is the map I'd expect to do the worst on. It's just a difficult map, and I'm not that good at it. But, considering the state of the previous runs, how bad could it get? Round 3 and I make it to the box, and our first weapon is the HS-10, and right away I'm thinking, oh great, here we go again. But that wasn't the case, because the next spin we only go and pull ourselves the Galil, the greatest of greats, and for the first time this entire challenge, straight away I was feeling pretty good. The early rounds only got better for me too, as by the end of round 5 I had all 5 perks bought after I added Jug, Speed and Stamina up to my quick revive. Pack-a-Punch was up next on round 7 and I decided to go with the HS-10. I know the Galil is obviously better, but the standard Galil was still doing a great job, so I threw in the HS-10, which was definitely the better choice, as having a dual-wield shotgun as a get-out-of-jail free card felt pretty good, especially on these earlier rounds. Although on round 9, the Galil was also pack-a-punched, as I was just farming points for fun. I now had a full setup by round 10, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know what to do with it. I'm not that good at Shang, it's the main reason why I avoid the map, but I discovered that camping down by the bridge kind of worked. So I stuck to it, which was a little unorthodox, but it was working. In fact, it worked very well all the way through the teen rounds. Having the Galil as my ranged weapon and being able to take zombies from a decent distance, and then having the shotgun for when zombies got too close, was a great pairing. But unfortunately, as the rounds went on, the strat became more and more dangerous, and on round 18, it was abandoned. I then tried training in the power room, which worked for a round or two, but it was just very dangerous and a bit dumb, and I knew my luck wouldn't continue for too much longer. That was when I then remembered about the training strat near the water jet thing by the box. Now, I had never attempted this before, but what was the worst that could happen? And, well, I'll tell you, I downed in round 2, which was also my first of the game. Thankfully, as I was down, all of the zombies left me alone, meaning once I was back up, my job of getting perks was made much easier, and by the end of the same round, I was back in the same area trying to figure out a better way of running the train. And I pretty quickly got it nailed down. Running the train was pretty simple. The only real downside was how long it took to work through the round, and occasionally having to leg it to the power room because a screamer or napalm zombie showed up. But it was working. However, it wouldn't be working for too much longer, as on round 24, I ended up taking a seriously dumb down. A napalm zombie spawned, and instead of me running the train away from him, I ended up throwing a grenade at him that ended up getting me trapped, and I downed. Upon reviving, I did leg it, and I went straight for Jug, but I ended up missing the prompt to buy the perk when I got close enough, as I had a full horde of zombies up my ass. And with nowhere to go, I run myself into trouble and take my final down. But round 24 on Shang becomes the new highest for this video, and I bet none of you saw that coming because neither did I. That brings us to our final map in Moon. Me and Moon never got along, which is why straight away from spawn, I legged it out of Area 51 and got to the space station as quickly as I could. From here, I got my M14 bought and headed to the box, and after buying about 50 doors and the MP5 because I was out of ammo, I finally made it to the box. And at the beginning of round 6, it only went and gave me the HK21. Our good fortune from the previous run seemingly rubbed off a bit here. You see, then it all went to hell. At the end of the same round, I spun the box to get my second gun. I also got an insta-kill drop, so whilst the box was spitting out my gun, I was knifing zombies. And as I killed one of the last enemies, he only went and dropped a death machine. And as I was right on top of it when it dropped, I insta-picked it up, and because you can't stow it early on this game, I ended up losing the gun in the box, which was the Commando. I know it's not the best gun ever, but it was still very good, and I obviously needed all the goodness I could get when it comes to the box. However, the box was good to me again as I got myself the AUG. The next thing I wanted was Pack-a-Punch, so I saved up my points and a few extra to grab whatever perk spawned when I made it back to Area 51. So, round 8, I teleport back, and the perk that did spawn was Speed, so I got it bought. From here, I also Pack-Punched the HK, which was definitely the right call, as it then proceeded to blitz every single zombie in Area 51. Upon my return to the space station, Excavator Omicron was doing its thing. Now, I couldn't remember off the top of my head whether Omicron or Epsilon was the dome call sign, and to save myself from potentially ruining my run, I just decided to fix it either way. I run over, grab the hack tool, and as I head to the teleporter, the goddamn cosmonaut comes down the stairs and grabs me, steals my quick revive, and teleports me to the power room. I'm red screen, a little bamboozled, and now also choking to death. But it doesn't matter, because of course it teleports me directly next to a zombie that just bonks me, and now I'm dead. Which is probably the most Satch way to die. So with that, Shang reigns supreme and clearly has the best box luck. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.